Yeah, well, this ties into a much broader and bigger problem that we've discussed on the show many times before, starting with Bela Sebra when Bela was on here talking about
Hmm.
trust. And these Shadchanim are, excuse my French, a bunch of idiots who have no idea what they're doing, and they
Hmm.
just push, push, and push, and they don't know what. And because of doing stuff like this, such as essentially they're not trying to lie, they just don't look into it. They see some
Right.
stupid resume on a WhatsApp chat and they just like go based on that. And recently, the other day, a friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Do you know this girl? I happen to know her. I went out with her. Awful experience, like real douchebag of a person." But even on the resume, I'm like, by the way, she's a lot older than it says on there. I'm just saying, like significantly older,
Wow.
meaning meaning the shotgun that sent it to him didn't even know that there was an issue because it hasn't been updated in probably a couple years or whatever.
Right.
I'm totally against these resumes and what, but the problem is that they get them off some WhatsApp chat, whatever, or they get them off wherever they think they're a shotgun. They don't look into the person. They don't know the person at all, and they just forward a resume. So now they're on the phone with this girl and pushing that, oh, Shkufigli is fine. He looks like a frum guy. Meanwhile, the guy hasn't davened with a minion in 2 years or
Right.
whatever. And it's like the stupidest thing in the world. Um,
Right. No, I agree with you. I think that like there is like thought that has to go behind it. Like you could say to her, "Oh, I have a guy that like I spoke to about 2 years ago. Let me call him and see if his resume is like up to date." Why not just do that? Why not put in the work
just
or the
just learn
effort?
about just learn about them. Forget about the resume. I just call him and just learn a little bit more about who he is. Um,
Right.
Baylor said it best. I think that's probably the biggest problem nowadays. And according to her, the old way worked. What was the old way? The old way was, number one, not everyone in your mother was a shotgun. Number two, people got to know other people, and people wouldn't send essentially ideas that they would only send them if they truly felt this was an actual match. It's kind of like what I did with you or with what I did with Wassman, whatever it is. I not only thought about why it would fit, I thought about every reason why it wouldn't be a match. So I already went through all like the negatives, but nowadays it's really just like, well, I see someone and they just like convince themselves this is a great match, and even if it doesn't work out, there's no like repercussions, there's no like responsibility anyways. They just forward resumes hoping one will hit and get a commission off it. That's basically what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. No, so she also mentioned that like the best experiences that she's had with Shadchanim or Shadchanim encompassing people that she's met to set her up or to get to know her to set her up. Um, the best experiences that she had were when people truly wanted to get to know her, where they do
Yeah,
want to spend the time and they want to get to know you.
yeah. It's not rocket science. People make it so much more complicated than it has to be.
Right. So then why don't people want to just sit down and like really get to know the person?
People have no like there's no more common sense. They really are. They're just so stuck in their ways. Like this is just how it's done now, and they don't. I don't think people have really brought it up to them that, by the way, you suck at what you do. You should probably rethink this. You're actually causing a lot more harm than good. Like to
Right.
them, they're doing a lot of good. To them, they think they're doing a great job. They think they're setting up all these people and they're doing the best job that they can. And no one's really called them out on it. And they really don't realize.
Right. You know what I'm thinking, Max? Maybe we should make some rules and regulations for shotguns. How do we do that? That's what needs to
Um,
happen. There has to be rules and regulations. Like you said, it's the Wild West. When there's no rules and regulations, literally you could do whatever you want.
I don't think we're in a position to do anything. The only thing we can do is just call this stuff out. But I guess just just continue to do what we're doing and spreading the word. because I think the more the word spreads, the more people like. I remember, like, even on this show, like when I mentioned that I think girls will, you know, they're dating for the job title and they're not really like girls should be dating guys who are winners versus their job title. Just because their job title looks fancy, don't base it off the job title. Like, for example, I know a bunch of guys, I know a bunch of people, their job titles are not I would not say that their job titles are very impressive at all, but I guarantee you, I know this firsthand, they're making a hell of a lot more than the doctor is making, like a ton of money. And they're killing it in life. They're
Right.
killing it in life, but like you wouldn't know based on his job title because you just don't. But you know, if you know the person as a person, you know he's killing it. And they just don't. And so one person did come up to me and said, like, you know, I took your advice with that. She actually is engaged, whatever. I'm not saying I had anything to do with that. I don't. But however, I feel like a lot of Shadchanim would take credit for that. However, there is what to say about what we're doing here as far as spreading the word.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, maybe you did help her and like open up her
Could be.
helped her like open up a little bit more of opportunity to date other types of people rather than just be stuck in one category. Maybe that's what she meant.
Potentially. I'm not going to take credit for it, but like what we're doing here, I think actually does do stuff. Actually
I
does
hope
move
so. I mean,
slowly but surely. Stay the course.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Slowly but surely.
But it's all, I think it all leads to the same issue. It all leads to Shadchanim just they think they put in the time, but they're not doing it. They're not I'm not saying everyone. There are people that legitimate, as you said, she likes working with the people that genuinely get to know her on a personal level. That's really where it's at. You got to get to know, but like